All right, so we're continuing with the volume of prisms, but this time we're going into the triangular prism. So when we talk about the triangular prism, I meant to have some of them out, but I didn't. Oh well. It's not bad. I'll just showcase it. So when we talk about a triangular prism, this is what we're talking about. A prism, again, always will have two base. So these will be our base, even though there's no bottom on there. And remember, the shape of the triangle is what determines what is the prism. They get their name by their base. So the triangle is the base. And so the sides, if you notice, are rectangles. So that's where your height comes from. So let's go ahead and do the note portion and keep it moving. So when we're talking about a triangular prism uses the same formula as a rectangular prism of V equals big BH. However, the base is a triangle. So the big B is equal to the area of a triangle. So what that means is that big B, which is the area of triangle, is going to be big B is equal to base times height divided by 2. The height is still going to be the height of the prism. The height of the prism is the distance between the bases. So on here, the height again will be the distance between the two bases because the bases will be parallel of one another. Do you have a question? Can you wait till after our notes? Okay. All right. So now we're going to open up our notes. And this time we're no longer working on the left side. We're on the right side. So it says shade the base of each triangle prism above. So you can use your pencil or whatever you have. And you're going to just shade the base. Remember, for our triangular prisms, the only base that we have are the two bases that are shaped like triangles, because that's where it gets its name from. So you'll go through and shade all of your base. Oopsie. And again, you can always shade with a pencil or highlight or whatever you have. So this base is up top. And then the second one says label the heights of each triangular prism above. Use a different color to identify the difference. So I can say this is my height of the prism. Oops, bananas. Now, remember, I might just say I'm identifying this one, but that means all of these can be labeled as a height. Like I can honestly go through and identify all of these as my height because, again, they're the space between the prism. So you might not always see it here, but it might be marked on the side or marked in the back. But that's how we can distinguish. Yes, Rania. Yeah. So just a second. So if you haven't finished your shading and identifying your base and your height on your prisms, please do so while she's finishing her notes. You have it? Awesome. All right. So again, our height is always the distance between our bases. All right. So now we're finding the volume of the prism. So the shape here, this is a triangular prism. The name of the base is a triangle. To find big B, we know we're doing little b, little h of the base divided by 2. So when I look at my triangle, remember my triangle has its own height, and that's always going to be identified by like the little box there letting me know this is the right angle, or if there's a right angle on your triangle. So this is the height of the base, and this is the base of the base, right? So when I see those numbers, I'm looking at 4 times 2 divided by 2, which is 8 divided by 2. So my base, my big B, is 4. Does anyone have questions about that? We see how we identified that, right? Okay. So now when we do the formula for the volume, we'll say big O of V equals big B times height. Well, we just found our big B. So when I plug in my values, I'm saying 4 times the height, which is 9 1/4. We can say 9.25 because this is the height of the prism. So 9.25. So when we go to calculate that or multiply it, we're saying 9.25 times 4. Someone said is what? Okay. So it equals 37 feet cubed. Oh, I guess I should have wrote it here. 37 feet cubed. Or cubic feet, yes. Okay, so that's that one. For this one, if you notice, there's no numbers on here because I want you to go ahead and create your own volume. So you need to identify your base and height of your base, and you also need to then give yourself a height and calculate the volume for yourself. And it's a good opportunity too to just identify, because I realized we didn't do that for these. So identify what your height is and your base. Go ahead and do that for yourself. So you're going to come up with your own numbers and solve for yourself. And then we'll share out one of your problems. We'll have you show it on screen. When you have it, you can do a thumbs up. You have one? Okay. And I will come around and check to see what did you come up with and that you use your formulas correctly. Because remember, your big B is the area of a triangle. So it's base times height divided by 2. I should look at that. I will look at that. Okay. Okay. So this is your face. And the base you said always right or the front. So you can just make that number here. Okay. And if you're doing the calculation. So remember on our triangle, let me slide my paper up because I'm seeing this a lot. And this is why I have us doing this so we can catch this misconception. When we look at our triangle, when you're setting your numbers, you cannot, if you say you put 8 here, okay, that has nothing to do with the base and height of your triangle. Nothing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because your base and height will always be affiliated around your right angle. So my height of this triangle, whatever number you're going to put, this is where your height is going to be, or it's going to be here. Your base will be here, or vice versa. But the thing is it has to still be affiliated around your right angle. This is your hypotenuse. So your hypotenuse cannot be used in those numbers. So if you wrote your height or anything there, I need you to scratch that out or X it out or just keep that number there, but you can't use that for your base and height of your big B. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And this is why it's important that our notes reflect that, because I don't want us to use this number. We cannot use this number. So we're going to say, all right, cannot use this number. We can't use that. Not yet. Not until we learn about the Pythagorean theorem. So we want to know that everything else that has to be affiliated around there. Yeah. So you had it. Thank you. Awesome. Can I see this? Do you not have it? So you've just been fake writing, or oh, it's in here? Do you not have it? Okay, I'd rather you say that and then just end up getting another one to make the notes than to pretend like you're doing something. I don't like that. That's a lie. You should, but it's your paper. It shouldn't be too complicated. Don't forget your name. Okay. Again, so we've been in notes for a long time, and you've been sitting here doing nothing, and you can just get it. It's okay, but we always have the extra papers back there in the day. All right, you interrupt me then to sit there and not get the notes written there. Okay. Awesome. I'll give you the free choice today. Awesome. Okay. So Hannah's gonna show hers on the overhead cam. Over here on the overhead cam. Thank you. So there's Hannah's. She knows that her base is triangular. Hannah, can you tell us about it? The numbers you chose?
So I chose 6 for my height of my triangle, and then 5 inches for the base, and then so I figured that out in the base, and then I got 15 because I divided it by 2 because that's the formula for base, and then I wrote the formula for volume, and then I plugged in the numbers. I chose 3.14, plugged that in, and then I multiplied it right here, and I got 47.1 inches squared.
Awesome. Thank you. I love how you use pi is your height. Good number choice. All right, so that's that. If you still have questions on that, no worries. You get to practice. So if you go into Canvas, the practice is there. It's a triangular prism. It says triangular prism practice. It is a self-check so that if you are not doing it correctly, it will tell you because it will not reveal a picture.